So this is from the book by a writer I really love, Augusten Burroughs. And he's a gay man with a lot of humor, so I thought he must have a cat story. He must have a cat story, and sure enough, we found one. Kitty Kitty. I really wanted a dog. Oh, where are you? I really wanted a dog when I got out of rehab, but I knew I had to start making smarter choices. So I bought an orchid instead of a puppy, figuring that if I needed practice keeping something alive, first I should start with an item that would look good on the coffee table, or opposed to something that would chew it. I knew it would be years before I was allowed to have another dog because I'd had one once before in Manhattan, and I had been very, very bad. The last time I wanted a dog, I was a drunk. But even as a drunk, I knew better than to get a dog. So I bought an expensive acoustic guitar instead. The guitar salesman gently stroked the inlaid wood of the tapered neck and said, "I bet you've been dreaming about this baby your whole life." I told him not really. I said I didn't play, but how hard could it be? I don't think there's a dyke alive who can't play Constant Craving on a guitar, I joked, but he didn't seem to think it was funny. Still, I bought the Martin and a pile of songbooks too. I kept the guitar for a month, half-heartedly attempting to learn Stairway to Heaven, and then I decided that I had no need for a guitar, as I never sat around campfires or attended political rallies. So I took the guitar back to the store where they gave me an 80% refund. Then I went into a bar and had a few beers. And the next thing I knew, I took a cab over to the AKC Puppy Center on Lexington Avenue and bought a soft-coated Wheaton Terrier. I did know that you're never supposed to buy a puppy from a pet store, and the reason is that you support the puppy mill industry. A puppy mill is a disreputable breeder who churns out puppies the way Nabisco churns out Oreos. Often the dogs are inbred and have health problems. But all of this knowledge evaporated once I went inside the pet store and saw the adorable puppies. A rational person would have seen the filthy cages where the dogs were kept and known better than to slap down his credit card and take one home. But I saw the filthy cages and thought I must save one. I named him Kitty Kitty because he looked like a kitty, but twice the size, and he was so gentle and sweet that for the first 2 weeks I thought he might be mildly retarded. His kind brown eyes were always half closed, and he licked my hand even after I pulled it away. His little tongue just continued lick, 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 licking the air. It was endearing, but also a little pathetic. Yes, I knew I made a good purchase because he was almost no trouble at all. Like a potted cactus, he made little noise, less noise than my answering machine. And housebreaking was easy because my floor was already covered with magazines and foreign newspapers, which I couldn't read and only bought because I was pretentious. But by the third week, Kitty Kitty became alarmingly energized, as if he awakened from a long, deep hibernation. When he wasn't barking at the exact frequency that caused windows to shake, he was leaping from the sofa to the floor to the chair, and then running full speed down the hall to the front door, sliding into it and knocking the jackets hung on it to the floor. He also liked to grab his rawhide bone in his slobbering mouth and then shake his head violently from side to side until the bone flew out of his mouth and sailed across the room, smacking into the glass door of the microwave. By the time Kitty Kitty was 6 months old, he was at least twice the size of a normal, soft-coated Wheaton. Friends told me, "Idiot, you shouldn't have bought a dog from a pet store at a pet store. Those puppy mill puppies have all sorts of problems." It was too late to take him back and get a philostoric armchair, so I was stuck with him, even if he eventually reached the size of a Great Dane. and grew a second puppy named Tail. One morning, I took Kitty Kitty to the Tompkins Square Dog Run. This is a fenced-in portion of Tompkins Square Park in the East Village that is blanketed with cedar weed chips. The inside of the fence is lined all the way around with benches so you can sit and read the paper, talk to other dog people, or work on a mental assignment from your therapist. The dog run must seem like a wonderful idea there on the city planner's desk as a blue and white sketch. The reality, however, was quite grim. The designers hadn't taken into account the possibility of eventual rain and its effect on dog shit and wood chips. First of all, Kitty Kitty was terrified of